as well, which is unusual because Atlanta has half mile turns, and then the back straight is going to be about a quarter mile long. So Texas is about that, maybe a little bit bigger in the turn department.
And we are now live on Facebook and YouTube. So that was a bit of a bit of excitement there, getting off the line. Forgot to start the streams on 2 of our platforms, but we are good now. So consider this our soft open to all the viewers here on Facebook and YouTube. So we
hello yet again, race fans and esports enthusiasts everywhere. From the Texas Motor Speedway, it is time for the 5th round of the Atlanta Motorsports. We are bringing you all the action and excitement tonight from the mile-and-a-half Speed Palace from Speedway Motorsports and Bruton Smith. And Will, yeah, it may sound like we've heard this before, but what are you expecting tonight?
Well, I'm expecting a lot, but I'm telling you, the technical gremlins here tonight. The second we started this, I lost my camera, so hopefully we can get this figured out. We're sorry for the multitude of technical delays, ladies and gentlemen, but we promise we know what we're doing.
Well, qualifying is still going on here, and no pressure. Only 4 minutes to go until the grid. No pressure at all, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, if the video stream just randomly decided to.
Michael Day is currently sitting on the pole now, with Armstrong second, Flannery third, Green fourth, Fialo fifth. I believe that's accurate. We will go back and take a look at that as soon as I can get my screen up. There it is. Michael Day is your pole sitter at a 27.91 was his pole speed, beating out Jacob Armstrong by about 3/100ths of a second to get the pole. Another 4/100 seconds back then was Flannery, and then another 6 would be Michael Green. So it's pretty tight up front, and not much difference in pole speeds. Let's see if we'll. And
yeah, we don't have anybody on track yet, but we are back online. I don't know if it's made its way back to Facebook yet.
Everybody's qualified, 15 starters.
If there were ever a video that I am going to trim after the fact, it'll be this one. So all you folks watching live at home right now, consider yourself special, because this will probably all get cropped off with this poor directorship, but we should be good to go.
Only a couple minutes left to go in qualifying session, and looks like we have everybody turning in a time now. So we have 15 cars in the starting field, and your pole sitter will be Michael Day. On the outside will be Jacob Armstrong and Ryan Flannery. Michael Green will make up the second row. We'll go through the whole lineup once we get everybody gridded up and on the pace lap.
Yeah, we need to talk to the race director about these 10-minute qualifying sessions where everybody gets their times in, and then we sit around having to fill space for 5 minutes with nothing to look at.
Well, if you're an iRacing enthusiast and would like to join the AMP community of online racers, you can join our Discord server linked in the description of this video. AMP hosts community racing nights every Monday and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m., and it's open for anyone to join. Information for both the eSeries and community nights can be found on the aforementioned Discord server.
And that is where all our drivers are currently sitting and probably having a good laugh right now, taking a bathroom break, smoking their last cigarette, and sitting down and getting ready to go here for this 90-lap feature at Texas Motor Speedway. We are about 30 seconds away from opening up the grid. So for those of you patiently waiting at home, I see our numbers slowly rising up on Facebook. That's good. We're happy to have you. And
as Will mentioned to some of y'all, last week there were a lot of cautions, and we were not able to get the entire 150 laps in before time expired. Maybe we'll have better luck this week. I think this track
we were able to watch Mikey with the big brain play there at the end, staying out on track and getting position. Well, everybody was pitting for tires, knowing that there would probably be caution and not need the tires.
It's not always the fastest car that wins, but he definitely out-thunk them and got to bring home the hardware.
And as is customary, the overlays decide to do their thing here as we start the race, but we got them refreshed. And while they're gridding, we should go ahead and look at the championship point standings real quick. I'm not sure if you can see those on your side, Bill, but quite an interesting shakeup after last week, because now we have a tie for first place going into the fifth race tonight between Michael Green and Ryan Flannery. And then not too far behind is Ben Warren in third place and Mikey Lemon Drop Lane and also Zach Holden. So really your top five share a margin of about 15 points between the five of them. And, well, Bill, these last three races, it's really anyone's game. No one's been walking away with this right now.
So we should see some wide open racing here. And let's hope it stays green for most of the race here. And we can actually see some action.
Well, talking with them in the Discord server before the race, everyone pretty much was saying that this is Michael Green's to lose because he was running pretty fast lap in practice. So I'll be curious to see how that holds out in the race because it doesn't look like – oh, no, he's in fourth place. That's not too bad. But we'll see how that shakes out here as everybody's gridding up.
They grid up Winston style here, for lack of a better term, all-star race style, where they.
I've always said they need to add the Le Mans start, where everybody starts in like a first-person like video game mode, and they have to trek it across the track, hop through the window, and a little mini game to buckle up and start the engine.
That's why you don't design simulation software. And looks like they're starting to pull out here as the pace truck. There it goes. We'll pull away, and your pole sitter, number 5, Michael Day. 13 on the outside is Jacob Armstrong. Second row will be Ryan Flannery and Michael Green, followed by Dion Fiallo and Fred Hazelton. Matt Carroll and Patrick Wilmot. Ben Warren and Corbin Mitchell make up row 5. And Michael Lemon Drop Lane and Peter Hutchings make up row 6. And the final few rows, if we can get that graphic to advance, would be,
let's see,
Blake Fabiani, Jake Rogers, and Jacob Mink rounding out your 15 starters here for the AMP eSeries North Georgia Premium Outlets 135 from Texas Motor Speedway. Does that sound announcery enough?
Yes, it does. Oh, there it is. I finally found the button to advance it. Sorry,
You advance it every week. What changed this week?
No comment.
Lights are off on the pace truck, so we should be seeing action this time by.
I'm going to go ahead and go with the dog ate my homework, Bill.
Okay, sounds like a plan. And pace truck is off. Michael Day leads him to the line, gets a good jump. Green flag is out, and we are underway here at Texas. Ryan Flannery takes advantage of that third position to pull and come in and take second going into turn 1. Behind them is Michael Green. Then Dion Fiallo and Jacob Armstrong will be your top 5.
Yeah, Jacob took the high line there and lost 2 positions, so maybe we'll see him tuck it back in. Maybe.
Flannery looking underneath, taking the lead as they come out of 4. And down through the quad oval, and it looks like Michael Green will just nip Day at the line for second place to complete lap 1. Good clean start so far, and there's the announcer's curse. We'll see if that does anything.
We talked about this before the broadcast, Bill. We were going to keep it to the minimum this week.
Well, look at Dion Fiallo, though, taking the low line, making it 3 wide, going through 3 and 4, trying to get underneath Michael Green and take second place. You're on board with Dion now as he's sitting in third still. Couldn't quite get the best of Greenwell. Now he's ahead by a fender length, and they're side by side going to the back straight. They're 3 wide now as Michael Day takes them wide, passes both of them for second place temporarily, but Green will then shoot back underneath, and Fialo will settle for 4th place. Wow, a lot of action for the second lap there, William.
Yeah, it's been quite impressive, and fortunately we're not in the blender that is Bristol, so these guys have a little bit of room to work on the track here tonight. So I'm expecting a lot more clean racing, and right now they're not disappointing.
So after 3 laps, it's Flannery, Green, Day, Armstrong, and Fialo. So Jacob Armstrong.
It looks like Patrick Wilmot
making his presence known, and a little bit of almost a pass in the grass there as Patrick Wilmot took a little bit of off-road excursion, but he was able to maintain control. As we hit the back stretch here, looking to complete lap 5 this time by of the scheduled 90 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. On board with Patrick Wilmot, his suspension or front fender cam here.
Now we're not on quite as high of a banking here tonight. So these
nothing's like Bristol short of Talladega, but the difference here is that 1 and 2 are going to be steeper than 3 and 4 by about 4 degrees, or the other way around. I said it and then I forgot. Texas 20 degrees 1 and 2, 24 3 and 4. So it's a different animal going into 1 and 2 than it is going through 3 and 4 here, because you don't have quite as much banking to help you out speed-wise.
And Ryan Flannery still holding on strong up front. And it looks like Michael Green has managed to make his way up to the 2nd position. This is kind of where we figured things would end up.
We have 2 of the Michael Motorsports contingent in 2nd and 3rd right now. Armstrong's made his way up to 4th now. Fialo settles back into 5th. Meanwhile, looking towards the back of the field, Mikey Lemon Drop Lane is moved up. Now he's in the 11th position. So we'll see if we will hear from Mikey by the end of the race. Again, had a very good race, especially towards the end last week at Bristol. But now Ryan Flannery up front, dodging and weaving and trying to keep his first position as we complete 9 laps, or excuse me, complete 8 going into the 9th lap. 1, 2, 3, and there is your leader, Ryan Flannery.
Now, if we have these long green stretches, it's going to be interesting to see how the pit strategies work out tonight, Bill, because they are required to make that one pit stop, take 4 fresh tires, and how much ever fuel they feel they need. So it'll be interesting to see if we only see 1 pit stop per driver, or if we'll see multiple tonight.
Well, it looks like everybody's pretty much bunched together right now by, oh gosh, 1st to 14th is about 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds apart. Then Fred Hazelton is another 11 seconds back, so he's had a little difficulty, and he is fallen off the pace a little bit. He's about a half a lap behind the lead pack. Michael Day looking to the outside of Michael Green, gets a little high there, manages to hang on to it and save it. But meanwhile, Michael Green challenges Flannery for 1st, not able to do anything there on the outside. Everybody's trying it on the outside because Flannery is not yielding the inside line. And that may be the way to go. If you can keep it tight to the bottom of the track, then it is more difficult to pass. Again, you can maintain speed going higher, but you are also traveling farther, which mitigates that.
And there goes Jacob Armstrong to the inside. I guess he's listening to the broadcast, so
gets a wheel down on the line. Thought about going underneath, but thought better of it. Meanwhile, Armstrong has moved up to 3rd now, pushing Day back to 4th. Fialo is still sitting in 5th.
I have a feeling Fialo is probably playing it easy right now. I would expect to see him heat up probably towards lap 70. He'll probably start making his move. But he's just
Matt
going to.
Carroll is your 6th place, and those are the top 6 in contact with each other, and they put a bit of separation between themselves and the rest of the pack. So we're looking at Flannery and Green, a little bit of an interval back to Armstrong, Fialo, Day, and then a little further back to Carroll, and then way back to Wilmot and the rest of the field. So it's settled down to the top 6 at the moment. Of course, anything can and will happen here in these cup races, as we have seen every week. Looking at Patrick Wilmot now, your 7th place runner in the Barney Special. You gotta like a purple car. I love it. It loves me.
Now we're on board with Peter Hutchings.
Hutchings is your 10th place runner right now, as he's trailing Mikey Lane. Mikey working his way now up to 9th position, picking them off one by one. He may ultimately need the help of a caution to get back in contact with that lead pack, but he's driving steadily and moving up here as he's looking underneath Corbin Mitchell now. As they come down the back straightaway, not quite able to get the run on him on the inside, but we'll see what happens as he goes in 3 and 4.
And that was Jacob Mink that made the pass on Hutchings, and then Hutchings just made the pass right back again, so we're playing leapfrog back here. And it looks like the front is still, we'll go check on them. It looks like they're still doing what they do. Dion's moved up a couple spots.
Yeah, Dion was 5th the last time we checked in. Now he's made his way all the way to, looks like it's going to be 2nd. If he can hold his line here, he'll stick his nose right behind Ryan Flannery, take advantage of the draft, pull Michael Green coming out of the 4th turn, and we'll take 2nd place going into lap 18 here. So we've already gotten 17 completed here. Quick pace so far, and some good racing up front here as Dion Fialo.
Well, we're turning, 28-second laps, Bill. So this race, assuming we stay under green, should tick off the laps pretty quickly.
Assuming, yes. You know what happens when we assume.
Or when we just generally talk about anything, and then
true.
it gets cursed.
So we have, and as soon as we talk about the Barney car, there it is, showing up in, is that 6th place?
Looks like he's in.
I'm sorry,
showing 7th on my screen.
7th, right. I got confused by the colors. Excuse me. I was looking at Matt Carroll, and his number is represented in purple. He gets around Michael Day and pulls into 5th place now. Or he did for a moment, and Michael's able to take
it looks like
back,
he's dropped back to 6th in the number 5 Dyson. Oh, and Michael Green getting out of control.
We got some action going on. Had a little contact going into the quad oval there.
Looks like Michael Green got into Matt Carroll there.
Yep.
Go back and watch this, see what.
Yeah, a little bit of touching and overcorrection as will happen. Oh, and they take out.
It's the number 88 at Matt Carroll
as well. Shouldn't have mentioned him. That was my fault.
See if we can look this one more time. See if we can get a better angle here.
Here we are from Michael Green's point of view.
And it looks like
he just got a little sideways coming out of the quad oval.
If I had to guess, Fred was probably saying something out the window that Michael didn't like, and he just cut the wheel. And then there's nothing that Matt Carroll back there in the purple number 88 could do about it.
But they all can pull away from this and get to pit road. So the worst thing to happen here would just be loss of track position. No one should lose a lap due to this.
Assuming they can make it back to pit road. And it looks like they're all moving, because with this 1.5 mile track under pace speeds, that should be plenty of time to get in the pits, get fixed up, and not have to lose a lap.
We're looking at, did he just blow?
He might have just lost his engine there, because I saw a puff of black smoke.
Right. So
ooh, this will be interesting, because if he can't coast it back to his pit stall, he's going to have to take the tow.
Looks like he's got momentum, though. And the pit
And fortunately, the rest of the field is in front of him, so if he has to get out and push the car, he still has a little bit of time.
He's able to coast down, but yeah, something
No, that was
jammed up
definitely
or
his
overheated on
engine.
him.
Yeah, his engine gave way.
It poofed because there's no more black smoke coming out from behind him. So that wreck was more serious than it looked, which was pretty serious. But he is able to make it to his pits and magically get those
Looks
fenders
like a
and bumpers
lot
and
of
everything go
our
back
front
on.
runners decided to go in and pit as well.
Take advantage of the caution. You don't know how many you're going to get. So there we go. And I think
and it looks like Fred has stayed out on track. Maybe he missed the window to pit or just wanted the points for leading a lap. But I would assume he is going to duck in here.
Because he's not the most aerodynamic dog out there right now. He'd be a sitting duck for everybody behind him. So you look for him to Fred Hazelton to duck onto pit road.
And then we should
Although
see.
He's showing in 14th now. Did he lose a lap or almost a lap in that exchange? No, he's going to stay out. I guess he's going to play for the wave around. He didn't hit the commit line, so he's able to do that.
Possibly, although it might need to pull him up in here and figure out what the strategy is. Let's see. We still got lights on the pace car, so that means we got 2 laps, which means we probably have time for a in-car interview. Let's see if we can get Mr. Fred Hazelton up here. Fred, in the broadcast booth, how's it going?
Not too good. I forgot to de-tape after qualify, so I was at 100% tape and rapidly had to stay back to cool my engine, and then I was staying down on the low line, trying to keep away from everybody. I was about to get lapped.
Well, we were trying to figure out that pit strategy there. That was quite the line you took in and out of pit road.
Well, I don't know if it's my VR or my settings, but I came into pit lane and I didn't see anything. I thought I was in the other side pit lane. There were no objects. So apparently it was the correct pit lane, and I have to go around again because that's the kind of night it's going to be. That's the kind of day it's been. So
well, we'll let you get back to it as you dip in there.
You don't want to cause him to miss the entrance again just by talking to him.
I mean, I'm easily distracted. Thank you, boys.
Okay, good luck to you. Yeah, we don't want to be the cause. I mean, we appreciate these drivers letting us talk to them in the race.
I just wish NASCAR would let you do that in real life. You know, when you're watching
well, you can get disoriented by especially the symmetry of some of these tracks. So they start to look the same after a while, and you forget whether you're going into turn 1 or turn 4 or turn 3 sometimes, and it's easy to make a mistake like that.
Well, that was one of the big concerns we had last week going into Bristol, and they purposely set they put everybody on the same side of pit road to avoid the confusion of where to enter, but to make it fair on everybody, everyone has to start from that turn 2 entrance, and so that was a big concern last week with having those the pit roads on both sides of the track.
You do have to keep your head about you when you're running at a place or any place for that matter, hitting those markers. So there are a lot of tracks that have difficult pit entrances. Not that Texas is difficult, but there's some that have pit entrances that jump up on you in a big hurry, and especially if you're concentrating on something else, and all of a sudden realize, oh, am I in turn 1 or am I in turn 3? Should I be pitting now? That can happen.
Well, the lights are off, Bill, so we should be back to some green flag racing here momentarily.
Jacob Armstrong, your leader, with Ryan Flannery. Mikey Lemon Drop Lane up to 3rd. I don't know if he pitted, but he's made up track position. Jacob Mink is 4th.
I'm going through my notes here to see if he... Yep, Mikey Lemon Drop went to pit lane.
Well, his pit crew definitely earned their money.
Somebody must have overshot a pit stall or something, because this field got really shaken up there. We were too busy focusing on...
Armstrong with the jump now as the green flag is out. Flannery drops it behind him into 2nd, and Mink will be 3rd and Lane 4th. As we head into turn 1 here, completing 24 laps of the scheduled 90 here at Texas Motor Speedway. And just as soon as Flannery gets the lead, there goes as Armstrong got the lead, there goes Flannery underneath, and then Jacob Mink and Dion Fiallo Behind him, Patrick Wilmot hanging in there. Barney's looking good in 5th place now, and he's going to follow.
I'm just waiting for the black flag for the 4 off, because he definitely loves to cut that dog leg on the infield.
Well, you're taking the risk is yours going off road like that. And I don't know if there's a passing rule about the quad oval here, like they do at Daytona and Talladega with the yellow line. I think if you can swing it, then go for it. Coming to the outside now is Jacob Mink, pulling up to 3rd as he gets around Armstrong and Wilmot. Wilmot looking to get back inside of Armstrong. Not quite, but meanwhile, Hutchings.
Well, he's having a hard time with that apron
in 6th place
because Wilmot keeps dipping a tire down, and that's messing up his runs through the turns because he's getting a good entry, but as you see right there again, he just keeps dipping down, and that's scrubbing just enough speed that all the advantage he's gaining entering the turn, he's just given up.
You hit that transition between the banking and the apron, and it can upset the car, and it looks like he's struggling with that. But he's doing his best to take the shortest way around the track to keep those who are behind him still behind him. But it's worked so far, but then again, the traffic is starting to bunch up behind him. We've got a 3-wide battle behind him with Hutchings, Rogers, and Armstrong, which is to his benefit. Now they've straightened things out and then can proceed to chase him down. Meanwhile, looks like your top 2 are starting to pull away as Flannery and Fiallo are around 0.6 of a second ahead of the rest of the field.
Yeah, they're not even in the same frame on the blimp cam, so you know they're far ahead.
And that's how I can tell. So the field's starting to stretch out a little bit. Everybody's single file for the moment, but don't expect that to last very long, especially when they're close to each other. Strategy one of these races is to spend the first 25% figuring out what your car is going to do. The middle of the race, the next 50%, staying out of trouble and waiting for the end. And then the last 25 is when you get up on the wheel. And speaking of getting up on the wheel, we saw somebody going out of control that looked like Blake Fabiani.
Yep, that was Blake in the back.
Getting sideways and no caution, so he must have.
It's probably a single car.
Able to recover because he's still moving. Didn't look like he had any damage. Oh, he did catch the wall, and that's what. Oh, he caught both walls several times.
Still under green, and I think Blake was already a lap down, so they're not going to throw it for. Actually, no, he'd gotten the lucky dog, but this will probably put him a lap down.
So green flag racing continues now with Flannery and Fiallo pulling away from Wilmot, Hutchings, and Rogers.
And Michael Green is tied for the lead right now in points, so expect to see him make some moves here because I don't think he's going to settle for a 7th place here tonight, Bill.
Well, the Michael Motorsports team here needs to tuck in nose to tail and work their way up front if they want to do something about that deficit. Right now, Green is your 7th place runner. He's getting underneath Jacob Mink now as they come through the double dog leg. He has the low line into turn 1, and he brings Michael Day with him.
Looks like we had a little action up front here between Patrick Wilmot and Dion Fiallo.
And there goes Fiallo. Yeah, change in the lead a change in 2nd place as Dion Fiallo gets around Wilmot. Can he run down Flannery? We will have to see.
That's a 2.5 second gap, Bill. That's going to be a little bit to make up. Although I would expect to see a caution flag to tighten them back up here. But with the pit stops everyone made, we are going to have to see another round of pits because they're not going to have tires to make it to 90.
As it stands, we are working on lap 35 of the 90 scheduled here in the North Georgia Premium Outlets 135. Your leader, again, Ryan Flannery, and he definitely has opened up a huge lead, a 2.67 lead right now over Dion Fiallo, who's battling it out with Hutchings, which helps Flannery. If there's some contention back there for second and third, then Flannery is more than happy to watch them lose time to him. And it looks like Fiallo is disposed of any annoyance for the moment as Hutchings comes around Wilmot for a third. I wonder if the tires are starting to go away or what's going on with Patrick Wilmot, but he seems to be just yielding those spots and kind of taking it easy through the turns. We'll see what happens as they go through 3 and 4 now. And the Michael Day, the Michael Motorsports boys, are the next ones up on him. Wilmot and Fiallo right there, second and third, and look, there goes not Wilmot, Hutchings and Fiallo rather. Hutchings underneath Fiallo as they go into turn 3, and looks like he will get that position at least for the time being. Yes, Dion will tuck in behind. Patrick Wilmot takes advantage of that to close in the gap. In fourth place there as he comes to the outside of Fiallo. Just as I was talking about him yielding a little bit, he makes a challenge for third place. So nothing is as it seems. They settle out a little bit more now as we are completing lap number 39.
It looks like
we'll be halfway in about 5 laps now.
Looks like Corbin Mitchell and Ben Warren were having a little back and forth here. Just looking down at my scorecard, and I just see Corbin passes Ben, Ben passes Corbin, Corbin passes Ben. But
this
looks
is
like
the battle for 12th place.
Looks like they have stretched it out a tiny bit here.
And there's the director's curse. As soon as he picks out a battle, it goes away. Although I don't know, Mitchell looks like he's able to tighten it up when he comes out of the corners. Jake Rogers, your 9th place runner.
See, one of the only criticisms, if you could call it that I get with my directing, because obviously, as we experienced earlier tonight, I clearly know what I'm doing, but one of the most common criticisms I get is you need to focus more on the mid-pack and the back of the pack, and
we should do it through the field then. Just start first and work our way back and just talk about each one of them or make something.
It's like at a Pee-wee football game. You love to hear your kid's name called on the intercom, so.
That's true. Holding number 55.
That was always common at my football games. And you were the one doing the announcing, so. It's always fun to call your own son's penalties, right?
That's right. And there's Mikey Lemon Drop Lane.
And the number 9, Hoover.
That's right. We got Hoover, we have Dyson, we have Roomba represented.
Who was in the Roomba car? I missed that one.
There's an iRobot car there. That would be, I think that's...
Because I know Days in the Dyson.
Blake? It's a black car, I believe. Was it Blake or is it...
could be...
Or is it Fred? I'm trying to.
Might have been Fred because he always gets in on the jokes.
You have to do the chase, the rear chase, and you can see because it's on the back panel. I believe it's back. Anyway, there's a Kirby car out there too. So we've got another Kirby vacuum. I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together on that one. So there we are with Jacob Mink, and now with Jacob Armstrong, Team Jacob. And there's your Roomba car. Yeah, so that would be...
That's Ben Warren. That's the number 89.
Ben Warren, yep. We are halfway now, cross flags as we come by this time by. Halfway through the North Georgia Premium Outlets 135, the 5th round in Season 3 of the Atlanta Motorsports Park eSeries. 90 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway, mile-and-a-half quad oval. Ryan Flannery, your leader. Peter Hutchings in second. 3 seconds behind now. So Flannery has just decided to take off and say goodbye. Dion Fialo, another half second back. And then Michael Green, Michael Day, and Patrick Wilmot making up your top 6, at least the 6 we can pretty much get in the frame whenever we're looking at the lead pack. Although we can't find Flannery.
He managed to find the slipstream. I don't know. He's got the wind at his back right now because he keeps building that lead. And we are pretty spaced out right now, so trying to see if we've got anything good going on.
Well, let's look around the track and see, but everybody's pretty much got their own corner to go to, but that will not last for long. In fact, there comes Dion Fialo looking to challenge Hutchins for second, and he just closed in on him like he was attached by a bungee cord because he is right on the bumper of Hutchings now for second place. Ducks inside. Ooh, goes into the grass. There's your four underneath.
Takes the Wilmot line.
There you go, and will take second for the time being as they head into one, and I believe Hutchins is content to let him go by. Had nothing for him, at least at that point. Time to gather your thoughts and collect yourself and make another run at him once the tires have cooled off a little bit. Not going to drop back too far. But meanwhile, the Michaels, Green Day, are right there behind that pair, comprising second through fifth rather. On board with Michael Day now, the Michael Motorsports number 5.
And you can see that damage to the back of Michael Green's car. I wonder if that's going to play much of an effect here. I know, draft is important, but since we're not at a super speedway, it's not as important because it seems like he's still able to hold his own fairly well right now.
Damage to the rear of the car is not as critical unless it's to the spoiler, of course. That'll affect downforce, but if it's just that TV panel in the back, that really doesn't figure. In fact, there was an infamous case at Daytona back in the 80s when, gosh, it was 82, something like that. Bobby Allison lost the bumper off of his car, and it made him faster, or at least that was the accusation, that he had pulled a string or something, or made that bumper where it would break off. It broke off early in the race. He ended up winning it going away. But these teams can play games with aerodynamics, and that's an art old as the sport itself. Now, not that you can do that kind of thing with these cars, mind you, but in the real world, it has been known to happen. There's been all that business about kicking the doors in at pit stops to get a little extra aero advantage on the side draft that teams were being accused of doing.
I wonder if that's a setting you could program an iRating along, when you set how many tires and how much fuel you want.
You just have the guy go and bump the door to try to. It's amazing when you put your mind to it, or when they put their minds to it, what little bitty advantage they can come up with.
Looks like we had a little bit of action there.
It gets legislated out. Yep.
Looks like Peter Hutchins made the pass.
Hutchins getting underneath Fialo, taking Michael Green with him. Fialo will fall back into.
That was on the replay, and it looks like he's already made his way back in front of Green.
He split the Michaels and taken back third. This may stay unsettled for quite a while with these 3 or these 4. They need to collect themselves and chase down Hutchings before he does like Flannery did and set sail. Speaking of which, the gap is now over 4.5 seconds. So quite the day Ryan Flannery is having right now.
He must be running the magic sauce right now, because he has definitely found something that none of the other drivers know about.
So as we come down, we've completed 55 laps of the 90. This has gone by pretty quickly, William. We've only got 35 laps left here. And unless a disaster befalls Ryan Flannery, this is his race. You never know when the magical competition caution might come out. So it's definitely not over as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, if the race director is watching the stream right now.
If you can stay out front and navigate through the back markers, then you are in pretty good shape if you can just stay consistent. So the majority of your leaders pitted around lap 15. So that'll give them 75 laps on this fuel, these tires and fuel. I'm not quite sure what the fuel range here is, but I don't know if it's 60 laps. Now they started with half a tank, so they have that full up. So I would imagine they're in good shape.
They all pitted at around lap 20, 25 was when that first round of pits happened.
Okay.
I would have expected them. Most of them probably took a full tank and are now probably only doing tires if we see them dip back in. But with the lead that Ryan has, he might not even, if that gap doesn't start to fall, he'll probably stay out there as long as he can, because he's got the luxury of doing that and might have to force everybody else behind him to pit if we stay under green.
Getting under Blake Fabiani, who we talked about a little bit earlier. There we go. Flannery in his own zip code right now. Hutchings, Fiala, Green, and Day still trying to settle out those next 4 positions. And right now it's Hutchings, Fialo, and Green. Day is in danger of losing contact with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars, unless he can tuck under and take advantage of the draft on these straightaways.
Well, I think what we're looking at right now, Bill, is how well these drivers have been able to manage their tires throughout this really long green flag run.
We have a pit.
It looks like Dion and Michael Day.
Okay, so here's your pit strategy coming to the fore. So now it's a matter of how soon will Flannery pit after this, because this will give Fialo and Day a distinct advantage for a few laps as they have fresher tires.
And Hutchings is going to stay out. It's going to depend on if we stay green flag. I don't think they're going to be able to make up the time here because, I mean, we're running 28-second laps, so they're not going to be able to get in the pits and get out before the rest of the pack has the time to make their way back around.
Well, if everybody is pitting, it's just a matter of when you pit and how many laps you get in advantage on fresher rubber. And that's kind of why you will see drivers come in earlier, such as Fialo and Green.
And it looks like Mikey Lemon Drop Lane has gone into the pits along with Michael Green.
Patrick Wilmot has pitted. He's coming out along with Matt Carroll. Meanwhile, your leader, Ryan Flannery, is 4 seconds up. And here comes Hutchings making his way to pit road.
And
Flannery does right
dip
behind your leader. Yep. That's probably the best way to do it, is to wait for the leader.
He can have a flawless stop here if he doesn't overshoot his stall. Then he should be able to maintain most of that lead.
And he is taking
Looks like he's taking all 4.
He will be taking 4 tires. Prudent, given the lead that he had. And I don't think anybody would expect to make up any ground taking any less than 4. And he will come out and retain the lead, looks like. I think everyone else had pitted behind him, or
and here comes
pitted before or with him.
Yeah, Michael Day in the 2nd spot. So let's see if, yeah, it looks like he'll have, Flannery will have enough time to get back up to speed before Michael Day can close down that gap. So it looks like Ryan Flannery actually managed to gain another second and a half during that on his lead.
You're right. 'Cause he's at 5.5 seconds now.
Even his
That's
pit
what.
crew is running on nitrous tonight.
Well, there is a skill to getting on the brake and getting down to pit road speed just at the right point, and not speeding. So you go as fast as you can and get on the binders as hard as you can, and maintain control before you hit that commit line. Then you're at pit road speed until you hit that exit cone and back on the gas. And if you can time that out well, you can definitely gain time, which is what Ryan Flannery has done.
Well, that's what Michael Day was able to do because, as you remember, he was back in the 5th position and managed to leapfrog Wilmot and Hutchings to get up into the 2nd position. And at the current pace we're at right now as well, Day's got a 4-second lead over 3rd place. And so, really, if this race stays the way it is, he'll have a chance of getting a top 3 tonight.
I think everybody's just hoping for a top 2. The way that Flannery is running, it's been Ryan Flannery and then everybody else so far tonight, at least 67 laps through this 90-lap event.
And we're looking at our closest contest right now. It's the only gap that's not a full second or greater between the number 4 position and the number 5 of Patrick Wilmot and Matt Carroll.
With Ben Warren a couple laps down, but or no, excuse me, he is.
Looks like he's 1 lap down.
He's 1 lap down. I'm sorry, yeah, for Spice. And you don't have to be leading to have fun doing this. If you're just dicing for position, that's really what it's all about. You just want to put as many cars behind you as you can when that checkered flag falls. Looking now at Jacob Armstrong. He's being pursued by Jacob Mink as they go through turn 4 here. Meanwhile, Flannery will complete lap 70 this time by 20 laps to go. We have 20 laps to go here in the North Georgia Premium Outlets 135 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
And it looks like Matt Carroll making the move on Wilmot right now. Looks like Wilmot got left out to dry there as Armstrong is going underneath him as well. That's not Armstrong. That is Ben Warren.
Yes, yep.
It trips me out because most of the cars on my little screen, the color of their number corresponds to the color of their car, and Ben has a big red flag on mine, but he's in a black car. So I'm looking for something that's like white and red or got some kind of red in it.
Red. Yep. And he must be on fresher tires because he's making hay, even though he is a lap down. Or driving a better line or something, because he is managing to get away from those two as they battle for position. Again, they're battling for the 5th and 6th position, and we definitely have spread out after those pit stops. Ryan Flannery with a 7,
like almost
8 second lead now, getting into almost 8 seconds here. So there was no drama at all involving the pit stops as Flannery got in and out and managed to increase his lead and continues to do so as we are 73 laps into this.
Well, I think
another 17 laps to go here.
I think he is trying to establish his lead here on the series because as it sits with, let's see, where is Green at? Yeah, with Michael Green all the way in the 12th position, a lap down, it's not going to be good for him in the point standings. And I don't see Holden out here tonight.
Nope, we haven't said his name all night. It's because he's
Which
not in the
that's
field.
not going to be good because he was in the running for the standings, so that's going to put him behind.
Is there, you don't get to drop a race or anything like that, like a lot
I
of
don't think they've got that set
leagues
up.
do?
They might have that set up, not to my knowledge.
And here comes Michael Green entering the fray here. He's down a lap as well, but he's getting into the middle of this battle between Armstrong and Wilmot. Excuse me, of Carroll and Wilmot, rather.
And as you can see, that camera pan, that is the
that's the gap.
that is the gap from, what was that, third place to fourth place to first.
We have 14 laps to go here in this event, and so as things kind of calm down a little bit, if you know a teenager who's recently received their driver's license and is looking to become an even safer driver, Drive Strong at Atlanta Motorsports Park is a great option. Courses maintain a 3-to-1 student to instructor ratio while taking advantage of AMP's world-class facilities to teach new drivers advanced skills that can't be taught anywhere else. Drive Strong accepts teenage drivers who at least have their learner's permit, as well as 20 hours of experience on the road. More information and class registration can be found at drivestrong.org. And I tell you what, Ryan Flannery is definitely driving strong tonight, Will. He's opened up a 9-second gap, more than 9 seconds on second place Michael Day.
I mean, he might be able to just park it and take the bus here. He's getting such a lead. That's my saying for the night, Bill. You know, I always have a, like pushing a piano down a hill or, some.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the bus. Cup of coffee, whatever.
I mean, why put miles on the card, or why put miles on the car when you don't have to?
That is indeed true.
Or, well, nowadays people don't take the bus anymore; they take the Uber.
The Uber.
Maybe that'll be our theme for next season. Rather than vacuum cleaners, it can be ride-hailing services. I'm sure we could have a Uber and a yellow cab and a El Dorado taxi.
Well, there goes Michael Green, improving his position up to 10th position now. And so trying to recover from misfortune. He's got one of the faster cars out there, but he's just mired way back in the field now.
Now, he was setting some pretty fast times during practice this week. But unfortunately, I mean, getting caught up in traffic early was his downfall here tonight.
He is a lap down, though, so he's to pass anyone and everyone that he can. And there is your leader, Ryan Flannery, just put Mikey Lemon Drop Lane a lap down, building that gap up to 10.1 seconds as he just continues to roll on unabated. We have completed 82 laps now, just 8 to go.
Man, this race has gone by, Bill. Every time I look down, I look back up, it's another 20 laps has ticked off.
Well, you know, Flannery has definitely taken his racing to the next level tonight. And if you're looking to take your real-world racing skills to the next level, AMP is home to Primal Racing School, one of the most unique driving schools in the world due to its exclusive use of the Radical line of track day cars. Primal Racing School is taught by professional racing drivers who have competed in series all around the world. The AMP main circuit is the perfect place to advance your racecraft due to its extremely technical and physical nature. Visit primal.racing to learn more and register for a class today. And again, Flannery's taking his to the next level.
And one of the fun things about the
line here to complete lap 84.
If you ever do get the chance to take a racing school, Primal Racing, I mean, it not only, if you're looking to do like a 1 day or a half day, you can get the experience of driving a real race car, but what's really cool about it is if you take the full 3 day school, you can get actual accredited racing license and do this in real life. You can get yourself a car, go race with WRL or any of the other leagues out there because you'll get your accreditation, which will, you basically you start off as your novice, get a couple races in, and then you've got your full-fledged license. And it's a good way to get started because it is kind of an intimidating process for a lot of people from the outside looking in who don't have experience with actually racing but want to get into it because people hit certain points in their life, once the kids are up and out of the house and want to go hit the racetrack, they don't really know where to begin, and Primal Racing is a good place to start because not only once you finish it, we also host our own race series at AMP, so it's real easy to get those first 2 races so that you can get your full-fledged novice license and not be I forget what I'm having brain's not working right now, Bill. You get your preliminary license, that's what it is. Then you've got to do those races to get your full-fledged license. So it's a fun starting point, and the more you know.
Well, 3 to go here for Ryan Flannery as we're getting down towards the end of the race here. The North Georgia Premium Outlets 135. 2.5 laps now to go for the number 4. See if there's anything going on the rest of the track. It looks like we've got Michael Green
He has made his way past Jake Rogers and Ben Warren, but is currently behind.
Is he going to be able to haul down Mikey? I don't know.
He's currently behind. It looks like that's the number 13 of Jacob
Armstrong. That's a 4th place runner, though, so that's not for position.
Don't expect him to yield.
Nope. Well, the gap between Armstrong and Matt Carroll in 5th is about 3 seconds now. So
white flag is out.
Final lap now for Ryan Flannery. Just absolutely nothing exciting to call because Flannery has made this just his own show. He just got out front and said goodbye. All he has to do is make 2 more turns cleanly.
Well, with the lead he has,
he will pick up victory.
He could probably park it and then back it across the finish line.
There you go.
But I would not expect to see that.
Your winner, Ryan Flannery.
Because he is a man of class and will win with dignity.
We will wait a few minutes here while second place Michael Day crosses the line. There he goes. He's over. 3rd place will be Peter Hutchings. 4th, Jacob Armstrong. 5th will be Matt Carroll. 6th, Jacob Mink. 7th, Patrick Wilmot. Mikey Lemon-Drop Lane ends up in 8th with Michael Green 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Ben Warren. The rest of your finishers, Jake Rogers, Corbin Mitchell, Fred Hazelton, Blake Fabiani, and Dion Fialo in that order. What happened to Dion? All of a sudden, we quit talking about him, and he ended up finishing about 30 laps off. Did he disconnect? I think
he might have had some connectivity issues. Although Dion typically doesn't race the full season, so he's not 100% worried about points. But
right.
But yeah, I would have a feeling he probably had some kind of connectivity issues. But let's see if we can get. Looks like we have somebody up here in the booth with us. Is that Mr. Wilmot himself?
That's me.
What's going on? I guess we're doing this interview.
Apparently, I was told last minute I'd be joining you boys, but I'm glad to be here. How's y'all's night been?
It's been good.
Pretty good. How was the Barney Mobile tonight?
I'll tell you what, I think I need to go back to getting a sponsorship from strip clubs because finishing 7th ain't the way to go.
Barney's not quite as fast as the Cheetah or something
his team's not as funded.
Lounge.
I tell you what, the kids ain't doing it for me. I'll say that much.
Sounds like it's time for some research.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm usually pretty good at the research. I do it myself, and I tell you what, man, the kids got to go. The next one.
We will be eager to see what shows up next time. Oh,
Well,
goodness. So, I mean, was there anything anybody had for Ryan Flannery tonight?
I don't think so. Ryan's been cheating this whole time. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
okay.
He's yeah, it's just like regular racing. You know, he gets out here, he spends the money, he cheats, and finds these
Well,
setups, all
tell
kinds of
us what
stuff.
you really think, Patrick.
No, I will. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Ryan seems like a nice guy, and then he just gets out here, he starts throwing his money around, and you know, I mean, it shows tonight. He almost lapped me, and I'm pretty good. So I don't know how, I don't know how he's gonna lap me, but
Now take us through that 4 offline that you were taking a considerable amount going through the dog legs.
Sure, yeah. So I don't know if you guys have seen this before or not, but Dale Earnhardt Sr. Is very famous for throwing it 4 off through there, and I just figured, I'd unleash the inner Dale that I had inside of me and try it a few times, and I tell you what, it worked for a while.
Did we lose him?
But you boys got me still there?
We
Yeah.
lose everybody.
I've got you.
Ryan's still here.
I think Bill is lost his audio right now.
Oh, he lost us. I see. Oh yeah, it was just inner Dale coming out. That's all it was. I think it worked pretty well, and then I saw some guys behind me try
As
it.
far as I can tell, we've lost everybody. Maybe I'm the only one left on here. But your winner tonight, Ryan Flannery, and Michael Day second.
Let's see if we can get
Peter
him in the.
Hutchings third, Jacob Armstrong fourth, Matt Carroll fifth, and Jacob Mink sixth, Patrick Wilmot seventh, who we were just talking to. And quite the event tonight. Ryan Flannery just giving a display, driving display, as these cars are all fixed setups. So it's really pretty much driving and strategy that makes the difference. And Ryan definitely found Texas to his liking.
Let's see. Can you hear me, Bill?
Hey, Will, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there? Looks like Ryan has entered the chat. Let me see if I can give the old man a call real fast so he knows that we can all hear him at home and he just can't hear us. But while we do that,
well, folks, that may just wrap it up here. I'm just going to kind of hang out here and see if anybody shows back up. And I'll be right back with you in just a moment.
all right, we will see if we can get Ryan Flannery back up here. He was in the chat lobby for a second, but heard us having some of our technical difficulties. Let's see if we can.
I've got you back now, Will.
Ryan Flannery in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
Oh, pretty well right now, I got to say.
We were chasing down some technical gremlins. This has really been the night. We had some issues at the start, getting the stream up and running, and
yeah, it was good out there.
And then the old man lost audio right as we're trying to do post-race interviews, but sounds like he is back now. So, Ryan. Maybe that's the commentator's curse, Bill. He just jumped out of the channel the second I explained all the problems we were having.
Well, I'm still here, Will. So if you still want to talk to me, we'll keep this thing rolling.
Well, we do have viewers at home that are eagerly waiting to hear from our race winners if he can get logged back in here. And you gonna join us back up in the booth in future races here, or are you gonna keep driving?
As soon as Ryan stops cheating, I'll be right back in the top 3 there. Ain't that right, Ryan?
Ryan in the broadcast booth. How's it going? Well, I guess me and you are the only 2 people here that are having a conversation tonight.
That's all right. Ryan,
well, let's see
Ryan's going to say how well it went.
Let's see if we can get Michael Day in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Just trying to figure out some of these gremlins here because it seems like Ryan's having some issues talking and old man's having some issues talking, but me and Wilmot here are having a good time, and so we saw you down there, and since you were second place, wanted to bring you in and ask you about the race, take us through what happened, and I'm sure Wilmot will probably chime in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with the result. Ryan absolutely just left a brick on the gas pedal and started to pull away. It was really hard to do anything there. He was wheeling as hard as he could. We were on pretty much the same setup, so I know the difference there was the driving. And it was interesting what happened with some of the pit stops. That's, I think, the first green flag pit we've had all season.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. We only had the one caution, which, made for some interesting action because the field spread out and, there was a mid-pack formed for a little bit, but Ryan pretty much just walked it. And we were trying to figure out what the secret was if, because he, even on the pit stop, he managed to gain in almost 2 seconds during the pits. So, his
Yeah,
crew must have
Ryan's
been
been
eating their
practicing
Wheaties.
those pit stops, and he's got them down pretty good now. I was trying to work with Green a little bit. I kept giving him the bumps, and we really carved up through the pack, through a lot of positions. We started at basically the back of the pack after that first pit stop, but yeah, we just couldn't get back up to Ryan, and then I think Green tapped a wall and was out of that one, so that's unfortunate. But
Yeah, we
it
were
was
we
a
were
good
looking at
race.
the point standings, and yeah, it's not gonna be good for pretty much everybody but Ryan in the top five because Zach wasn't in it tonight, and the other three I believe didn't finish in the top five. So yeah, man, I can pull these back up. I believe your standings are definitely will improve.
Yeah, he shows up every week, and he tends to put in a pretty good race, so I think the points will definitely show that.
Let's see here. Yeah, because it looks like coming into tonight. If I can get the right graphic up here, people. All right. Yeah, because Ryan and sorry, I know Ryan and Ben, or not Ben, Ryan and I don't know why all my graphs are off right now. Because Ryan and Green were tied coming into tonight, and he didn't finish, or he finished in ninth, and Lane finished right in front of him. So you are sixth place right now, so this should help bump you up. I haven't done the math yet on how this is going to shake out, but Ryan is pretty much going to be squarely in the lead after this.
I think we'll be scrapping for second place and under after this. We'll have to see what happens.
Well, it's really going to be anybody's game after tonight because that really is going to shake up second place onward. So it'll be interesting heading into Talladega next week. Do you have anything you're going to be doing different for the Super Speedway?
I'm going to be practicing a lot in traffic because that track's pretty much all about the racecraft and the strategy with drafting. I've had some unfortunate bugs and incidents and things that have happened with just iRacing, and it was nice to finally get a decent result down. So I'm just going to try to keep doing what I'm doing and putting the points on the board.
Well, we look forward to seeing it. So good job tonight getting yourself a second place finish. And good luck next week. No doubt you'll be practicing feverishly at Talladega all week heading into next Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll try to put in some practice and see what we can do.
Cool. Well, that is your second place winner, or second place finisher, I should say, Michael Day. And I think, Bill, that is going to do it for us for the post-race interviews. I don't know if Patrick Wilmot, if you have any final thoughts before we sign off here.
It was a great night. I was happy to be a part of it. I look forward to being a part of next week. I know there won't be any skill involved at Talladega, so it's just like regular NASCAR. And we'll see what happens, I'm going to pin it to the floor, and she's either going to blow up or finish first. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we look forward to it. And, Bill, take us away.
All right. So that will do it here from Texas Motor Speedway for the AMP eSeries North Georgia Premium Outlets 135 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Your winner again, Ryan Flannery. And for our producer and my sidekick and progeny, Will Rigdon and Patrick Wilmot, who helped us out here towards the end, I'm Bill Rigdon, thanking you for joining us, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.